The strongest element in the chart, the strongest element is wood. And the second most important element is water. I'm going to explain what that is now. Wood element represents agriculture, represents plantation, represents grains, food, for example. This is one of the elements that is most prominent in 2010. The second element, as I said earlier, was water, because water is the arbitrator. It's the solutions provider for the year, per se. So any fast movers consumer goods is one of the things that we should look out for. Gaming, for example, entertainment, for example, is one of those fields. Now, we take these two elements and apply in a global perspective. Wood and water element relates more to East and Southeast Asia. So you will see that the growth, the main growth will still be in China and Southeast Asia. And also, academically, a lot of improvements academically. So education, academic institutions, education is one of the highlights as well.
Is there anything that stands out as dramatically more iffy in this year of the Tiger than
prominent this year
in the past? Yeah.
Now, there's many different types of Tiger elements, and this year particularly, because of the metal and wood clash, there are a lot of fights and there are a lot of people unhappy with people in power. So you find that, you know, now, 9 years ago, there's similar patterns that we have seen. Now, I can't say that will happen exactly the same thing, but 9 years ago, we've seen the 911 problem. But they were not prepared then. But this time when it happens again, even though there are similar combinations, but people are more prepared, but we will still see a lot of hazards in this field.
What elements are really standouts? You mentioned water, you mentioned education, you mentioned the consumer.
Now, the other element that is interesting here, every time we see a metal and wood clash, there will be sparks. Therefore, sparks are related to fire element. Therefore, you will see that this year, technology will be one of the fields that you can look into as well. Technology or alternative energy will be something that will be the highlight for the year.
Are governments going to go bankrupt in the year of the Tiger?
Hard to say, but there are a lot of people unhappy with them because of the fights between metal and wood. So we can only look at the global perspective and see which areas are not as positive. We can see the West, that Earth is countering the water element. So in the West, there are a lot of people unhappy about the new policies or new rules and stuff like that. So there would be challenges in terms of political field. And around the mid-year, remember we said earlier on, July, August period, plus minus around the time.
And finally, Joey, the moment of truth. What's your single biggest investment position right now? Yours, personally.
Personally, well, I would hold on until about the first quarter. I will look into properties as well during the mid-year onwards, because that's where the elements are strongest for property luck. Southeast Asia would be one of the areas that you can look into, Malaysia, Singapore. And half year onwards, look into China.